Namaste. I want to talk about trauma. Um, I have adopted my last dog that I adopted. His name is Rufus. Um, I decided to adopt Rufus when I started seeing his trauma, impact of his trauma on him. He was abandoned 2 months back. I think he was around 3 month old puppy at that time. He was dropped on the road basically by the family. So I took him and other two puppies that I have for vaccination other day, and Rufus was in shock. Other two puppies were in general curious. They were looking at the car, they were looking at the person who was driving, they were looking outside. But Rufus was behaving like he was in shock. He was clinging, he was not exploring anything, he was clinging to my body. I have, and he was frozen. He was frozen, extremely opposite of how he normally is in front of in around home and people who he know right now. And it reminded me that trauma have a, especially emotional trauma, have a very different kind of impact. Well, all the traumas have impact on us. Basic is like your brain size is literally reduced. Like it's, people develop traumatized people have issues with their short-term memories. Their hippocampus becomes smaller. Everybody's body behave differently to trauma. There is one Krishna dhun. If I listen to that, I'm reminded of my mother, because how I lost her, like the trauma of that day, when the day she died. There's one particular Krishna chant. If I hear that, I am in that day. Carl Jung uses similar kind of an example to explain this in his book Memory. In his Modern Man's Search for Soul. He describes that if we are walking, imagine we are walking in a countryside somewhere with a friend or a lover or a partner. If we are walking and we heard, or not heard, we smelled something familiar. So that smell can literally transport you to another country, another time and space. You really experience, like it becomes a portal. It's that strong, like the smell can trigger certain memories, and you are literally transported into that space and time. And I think with Rufus also something similar happened that day. And so rehabilitation of traumatized dog is very different than finding a home for dog. So I gave up on finding a home for Rufus when I realized that somebody really had to be sensitive towards his issues, the space, the heart space which he's healing right now. I was not gonna just give him away. I was not trying to get rid of him. And I was unable to find somebody who was willing to put the effort in adopting a traumatized dog. I think this is also the reason why people don't adopt and shop animals. That's a topic for another time. Right now, we're talking about trauma. We save ourselves, manage ourselves through different techniques that are brought in front of us in from our unconscious. We don't know that that's happening with us. Well, what I'm really trying to tell us that we all are traumatized, and we, in a various way, we, especially people in developing countries, I can't tell you. It's like first thing in the pandemic, some trauma of the pandemic, was like people flashing. It never happened in Bangalore with me. It used to happen in Bombay a lot. Men flashing their private parts. That happened in like first week of pandemic. Imagine the kind of a frustration like collectively we were observing. And I was scared. I was scared to walk alone from. So I started going with people to walk my dogs. I was not going alone after that. I literally like informed police, and I'm like, if I'm walking late, you have to help me out and stuff like that. Well, heal yourself. Heal yourself and know that healing is a constant process, and if you love somebody and you understand their trauma, you will be able to love them well. You will be able to love them the way they are needed to be loved, because they are different, because they are unique, they are special. You love them. There's a power, there's a different kind of old soul energy if you're capable of loving somebody who was traumatized. That's about it. God bless.